Hi, that is Mike here, and I'm going to talk a little bit today about Amiga Racer. So, the game has been developed on a new generation Amiga. It runs on basically all platforms, so there are existing versions for Windows, Linux, MorphOS, Amiga OS, and there's also as well a couple of very strange distributions for Linux, for instance MIPSpace. I'm just thinking about making a PPC-based Linux version for the new board for the A1222, and that's probably going to happen, so we will see how this turns out. And currently the state of the game is it's pretty much playable. Of course there's still a little bit of fine-tuning needed from my side, but besides of that, graphics is nearly finished, gameplay is nearly finished, so it's actually a short time before I can say, hey, this game is almost finished. So I think that is huge progress during the past 2-3 months, and I'm actually quite happy with the acceptance that comes from people. So I'm getting here shitloads of emails, I mean really shitloads. So people writing that they like this game, people like how it's, let's say, done on a modern basis with still retro elements in it. So yes, so that was the purpose of this game, that we have here a game that reminds people to the old days, but of course has a little bit better graphics, but not overdone graphics. So a couple of people asked me, hey, will this game be available in full HD? No, won't, because that's not the point of the game. The game is an arcade game which tries to be playable as an old-time arcade game, so there's no point in full HD. I mean, that simply doesn't fly, because older Amiga machines, for instance the Zen 440 or something like this, are not really able to cope with that resolution and that lots of elements on the screen. So please keep in mind, I have to be compatible here also with older next generation Amiga machines, so that makes it even more complicated. It's not just that I say, okay, fine, it runs on Windows or it runs on Linux and it looks great. It's not that easy like that. So I have to balance quite a lot of stuff which looks good but doesn't take performance and stuff like this. So as for the Linux and for the Windows users, it wouldn't be a problem, but as I said, it's currently a problem for the existing Amiga OS machines as well. So pretty much balanced everything around, so it's looking actually quite good. So the game plays on all operating systems exactly the same, and you can exchange data. So basically, if you created a track, you can exchange this with an Amiga OS user, or you can exchange it with a Linux user, and you can create it everywhere and you can play it everywhere. So basically, that is something that has been just finished today. So there is now a new racetrack standard that is compatible all across the entire platforms. So that's finally a huge achievement, and it was pretty much needed. So now people can start trading their own created racetracks. There's also a cloud function in the game where you can download tournament tracks. So basically I create here tracks that supposed to be rated. So basically you can get into the high score, you can come into the online high score and such things. So it's pretty much finished already. So I just hit the first tries today, it seems to work. In a couple of next 1 week will show if it's really working. I hope so, otherwise a little bit of bug fixing maybe, but besides that it looks very promising. And you can create your own tracks, as I said. There's an ARCs feature in the game that gives you basically unlimited access to all kinds of features what you really need to create a track. There's absolutely no programming or no graphics design or whatsoever needed. You just define how you would like to have your track. So basically you can say, okay, fine, I want to have a track that is 3 miles long, just as an example. It should have 40% curves on it, and it should have 20% hills, for example. So then Amiga Racer goes there and says, okay fine, we take 3 miles, we put exactly 40% curves in it, and we also take care of the hills. So that means it comes out a track that looks, every time you do it, even with the same parameters, every time completely different. That means the game, even if you create several tracks with the very same parameters, it will most likely not look the same. Also object placements, so basically houses, trees, bushes, whatsoever, gets all set automatically, fully automated by the ARC system, and it doesn't look bad. So basically, if you look at the ARC generated tracks, it really looks as a game designer would have done this, and it's not, it's automatically created. So I spent a huge amount of time alone in this ARC feature, that this creates reasonable results. I mean results where you can say, well, that looks cool, I can drive it. So that is fully automated done for you. You just define your, let's say, parameters, how you want to have your street, and done. Then you can save this track, or you can first test drive this track and then save this track, and if you're happy with it, you hit the save button, or you hit the save key, whatsoever, and it's stored. Once it's stored, you can exchange it. You can send it to your friends, you can upload it in the cloud, so people can download it and can play your track. So that's actually quite also community work. So the game is not just about you get something and you play, you can be part of this game. So that means you can create your own stuff, you can share it. That's, as far as I know, for an Amiga game, quite a feature. And besides of this ARC system, you also have many other options where you can select cars, you can pick cars that you want to drive. You can even make car requests. That of course works not in the very same day, because it's quite a lot of work to create new cars. You can even, if you want to, request your own neighborhood. So that is also not a problem. I mean, basically you just walk around, you take a couple of pictures of houses, trees, of objects, whatsoever, you can send it to me and I will build a racetrack, or ARCs will build a racetrack for you that, well, generates the neighborhood. So that is possible. Of course, please don't compare this game with Need for Speed or something. It's not made to be in this, let's say, simulation league. It's an arcade racer. It should be fast, it should be fun, and it should be decent looking. So please don't get me wrong here. It's not that I could not do anything better, but it's not supposed to be as an arcade game. Next news is, after this game, I decided to make another one. This time not car racing, but it will be a shooter. So I started already a basic framework for it, and well, the name is Rampage, which basically is something like a Operation Wolf style game. And of course you have better graphics, and well, you have more actions in there. I already have it running here. I'm not going to show this now because I first want to finish Amiga Racer. The game Amiga Racer will not really be finished. It will constantly getting updates, but we have now a base where I can say that basically works. So we just need to make small improvements, a little bit of car dynamics, shifting and stuff like this. So it's actually in a good stage where I can say, give me a month and this Amiga Racer will be almost done. What you can do is, if you want to support my projects, not only Amiga Racer, also following projects, well, go to AmigaTec.com and drop me a donation, because I'm spending here most of my free time, and I also have to buy equipment. So it's not that it's completely free for me to do this game. So I have to host a web server, I have to buy hardware. If somebody says, hey, look, this game bed doesn't work, can you have a look? I'm going to order this game bed, costs all the money, make some kind of a bug fixing for, well, stuff I can fix if it's not operating system near stuff. So that is all not free. So I'm not begging here people, I just ask, well, if you like what I'm doing, then please give me a couple of bucks. I don't do any amount of number here, but it helps me really because, well, as I said, I need hardware and also server costs for the online feature, for the updates. There's all stuff that is not free. So, well, and regarding Amiga Racer, I'm going to show you now what is possible with this game. I'm doing that with a in-screen, well, screen recorder, so you don't have to see me all the time. And I hope you enjoyed this presentation so far. And well, let's get the old retro arcade rolling. See you guys. Take care. So here we are in the game menu, and usually the cursor just stands on start game, so you could just drive here around in Florida with this selected car. So if you want to drive something else, you can select here, for instance, Bavaria. So there's 2 demo tracks, and that is just to show you without going here how it looks. So, but the main functionality is within this constructor here, which is called ARC, the Amiga Racer construction set. So if you go in here, you can select here so-called scenario, and for instance Florida, you have here Bavaria, you have here Hong Kong, you have here Egypt, you have here for example Spain, Russia and UK. So there is more to come here. However, that is already pretty much what you can test here. And so let's just go through these options here. So length is, how long is this track? 800 is pretty short, so basically it's something like 800 meters. That is of course too short. If you want to increase this here, you press key plus on your numlock. So as you see here, numbers are increasing, so you can select here, for example, 2400. Then you can say, okay, I want to have no curves at all, so basically, or almost no curves. So you reduce this to 10, and you will have lots of hills. So basically we're making here a track that goes up and down, but almost has no curves. Almost. There will be a few, but very few only. And here you can select sharpness, steepness, and so on. I just leave it as it is now here. So well, let's build this track. And here you have a short overview. So that is what it creates. So basically it created right turns 5, it created hills up 35, it created hills down 27, and left turns 1. So basically that is what it asked to do, and it did. And it created trees 480, bushes 480, 0 stones, business buildings 45, normal houses 135. There's of course other stuff in that doesn't get listed there, but that's just as a short overview. So you can save now here the track directly. That means it will be available always until you delete it, or you can first start the game, test it, and well, basically save it during you test the game. So let's just start here. Here's another feature. You can select here actually the music with left and right. So you can also adjust your engine noise with up and down. You see here normal, soft, almost silent and silent. So basically I let it now on loud. Just press space or press the joystick button or return, and you come here. So as you see here, it's already starting with a hill. So we will have no curves there, or almost none. It's pretty straight. As you see, it's very hilly. But you asked for it. So basically, Arx did exactly what you asked for. You wanted to have a lot of hills, you got it. Okay, so I'm not going to drive till the end, just to show you. Also, let's make here more curves. That is maybe too much, but let's do 70 and almost no hills. So now let's see how this track looks now. as you see, buildings is already different, so basically it really creates you every time a new track. So none is looking as other. And you see here quite a lot of curves already here. And it's not as many hills. So Oi. It's pretty curvy here. Finished! Hey! So, we finished the race. And as you see, it also includes weather simulation, so basically rain, lightning and stuff like that. So, if you look here, then you will see you can also select single player, multiplayer. That's something I'm still working on, that will probably come the next 2 weeks. And select car. Well, you can just go through the cars here. So arcs here, as I showed you, can create you different tracks. So if you want to have Hong Kong, which is actually something like a night scene, not really, but it's looking amazing, just go here. So that is, for example, now the Hong Kong track here. There's lots of business building and skyscrapers. So that's all automatically created. It actually looks and drives and feels pretty much okay. Yeah? So, as you see, we had now green cars and so on. So basically, if you push this here to, may as well show you here, Spain. So notice here, I put here another difficulty, so we will have now other cars here. So, as you probably noticed, every track has a absolutely perfect matching music. That was a very short track, that is what I mean with 800, but you probably saw that there was different cars here. Let's make this in the Russian track a little bit longer. So you hear the Russian music? Yes. So I have spent a huge amount of time to get things, let's call it synchronized, that it somehow makes sense altogether, the music, the graphics and stuff like this. Here you see different cars. And they drive much faster than the other cars. Porsches. It's much more difficult here. Okay, done. So that is the constructor. And AmigaTec Cloud is something where you can see here you have the called rated track. So basically that gives you high score and everything. And we are currently in the local mode. So if you press M for switch mode, you see it's cloud. So basically you can see what is in the cloud. We have currently 7 cloud tracks. So let's go through this. There is one UK which is currently selected here. So we have here Hong Kong is also a tournament track. We have here the Bavaria tournament track. We have here the
Egypt, Spain, Russia, and Florida. So basically, I add in this cloud also rated tournament tracks, which you can drive against your friends and stuff like this. And you can just press space or joystick button to actually play them. They get cached on your local hard drive, and you can always play them. Once you played them, you don't need to download them again. That is fully automated. You just click you want to play, and the game takes care of it. So that's actually quite amazing features for a game. So basically, it contains, or it has its own cloud feature where you can also share tracks and stuff like that. So live update I'm not going to do now, because, well, it will update this to a previous version, because this is my current development version here. And well, I can show you, nothing happens here. It just scans here and checks, and it says it has already the version here, basically. So that means it said it is actual. Otherwise it would have been updated now. Yes, so there is quite more stuff to come, so please don't forget to, well, somehow honor here my work, what I'm doing here with this retro game development. You can always go to www.AmigaTec.com and drop me a small donation. I'm always happy about this.